Hi, I'm Stavros. Good morning and welcome to the Kilmurry Lodge Hotel in Limerick. We are on our way up to the Carole Nash RIAC Classic Car Show up in Dublin. That is the bus I am going on. Yeah, I'm letting somebody else do the driving today, and we're heading up to Dublin to check out this show with members of the Limerick Vintage and Classic Car Club. Okay, so we've made it to the show. We are here in Dublin in the MAN bus. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this, guys. Let's see what has arrived at this year's Carole Nash RIAC Classic Car Show for 2018. Let's go in and have a look. Now that is a nice Alfa Romeo pulling in there with the top down. I like that. Oh yes. And we have this Porsche 911 here for sale. 911 Targa. So if you're interested in buying it, ring that number there, and it's only €56 to tax. Nice and cheap, just the way we like it for your classic 911. And over here we have a Daimler Sovereign. I have no idea what year this is, but look at the tax disc, the 10th of 88. It was £240. That doesn't sound right, does it? But yeah, so the tax is way out of date. 30 years. So yeah, let's have a look way down here, guys, because there are some fire engines down here I just want to show you. Check this fire engine out. We have a Mack from 1967. Look at this. The American fire engine. Oh, guys. All the equipment. Let's just take a look at the one beside it, because that is 1970. The fire engine beside it. But yeah, fantastic to see two classic fire engines from America. But that's great to see them here. Now, of course, you guys know I love the W126 Mercedes. Here we have the coupe version of it here, 560 SEL. This is the one you want if you're having a coupe, but I want that 560 engine in this. That's what I want, guys. But it does have the proper genuine wheels as well. But yeah, one of these in dark blue with an all black leather interior is the one I want, the 560 SEL. But I really do like this coupe here. Looks fabulous. Look at this, guys, a 1968 Lancia Fulvia. Wow. Yeah, that is looking fantastic. Yeah, so I'm still in the car park. I still have to make my way into the show. Guys, I can't believe this. I found one. I found a 560 SEL. So this is from 1990. Of course, the one I would love would have to be 1991, which was the last year that they built these cars. But that's it. That's the colour I want. Has the proper wheels. Now, it doesn't have the interior. Obviously, I would look for a all black interior. But yeah, this 560 SEL, the tax is, whoa, look at the tax, €1,809. Whoa, the tax is incredible. Yeah, I'll be holding off for a while, guys, until that tax comes down for classic. But there you have it, a 1990 W126 560 SEL. My dream classic Mercedes. Anyway, let's get into the show, guys. And in we go. We are greeted with a bunch of Ferrari, guys. Let's check them out. So we have the 458 Italia here, and beside it the Dino, 1972 Dino, and the 308 GTS. Absolutely classic Ferrari there. And beside it here, is that a 275? I'm only guessing, guys. Yes, 275 GTS. That is very nice. And a 308 beside it there as well. Oh yes, 308 GTB. And the Ferrari Testarossa there. So it's not very crowded yet at the moment at the show, so At least I can walk around with a bit of comfort at the moment. But we have a 1991 Ferrari Testarossa. Yeah, great lineup of Ferraris here. And the Ferrari Mondial. So you'll remember at Cars and Coffee Limerick I had a drive in one of these. It was a convertible version of the Mondial, but this is the Mondial T from 1991. And beside it we have a Ferrari F430. So we saw one of them at Cars and Coffee Tullamore doing a very nice power slide out of the car park in Tullamore. So yeah, oh yeah, great lineup of cars here. And we have the 360 here. Yeah, 360 Modena. Yeah, that is from 2001. So you have to admit there is a great collection of Ferraris here. And we have a 355 GTS F1. 355 from 1998. And we have a 458 there beside it. Oh, we've seen this down in Portlaoise as well. The Aston Martin. Yeah. I don't know how much money's worth that is, but let's just say it's an awful lot of money spinning around there. And here we have the Gullwing Mercedes. Your 1950s Gullwing. Probably £1.5 million sitting there, roughly. I'm here at the Irish Vintage Scene magazine stand, and they have a very nice cake. So they're cutting the cake at 2 p.m. I'll be back for a slice. So this is a pretty cool lineup of Fiats they have here at the show. A 1972 Fiat 500F, and then this 1971 Fiat Giardiniera. I've never heard of a Giardiniera before, but there you have one from 1971. And a 1968 Fiat 500F beside it there, looking great. So yeah, that is a cool lineup of Fiats. Okay, I'm joined now by Andy Hennessy here on the Abarth stand. So Andy, there is a kind of an Italian theme going out throughout the show this year.
That's the theme for the show this year is Italian, and I'm very much into Italian cars myself, and as you can see here I have a collection of some quite unusual Abarth models.
And we'll have a look at them now, guys. Check this out. Okay, Andy, we'll kick off with this one.
Here we have one of my little Abarth cars. It's a Fiat, based on a Fiat 600. It's a Fiat 1000 used for racing. This has been fully prepared by Abarth and has a 1 litre engine producing just under 100 brake horsepower. So its power to weight ratio is quite phenomenal. Out of this little 4-cylinder water-cooled engine. Sorry, I'm just going to give you a real look at what's in there. In it here, it's a little pocket rocket, and it has an Abarth 5-speed close ratio gearbox in it. As you can see from the inside, if you have a look, when you're ready,
right?
It's very well prepared with a full roll cage, strengthening body kit, all adjustable suspension. Quite an amazing little machine that really goes very well on the circuit.
Any idea how much it weighs, Andy?
Its power to weight ratio, wow, I'm not 100% certain what the weight on it is actually, but it's very, very light.
Yes, that is cool. Okay, Andy, we will move on to this one.
We have, I can't say one of my favourites, but I learned to drive in one of these, based on a Fiat 850. This is an Abarth 1000 OT. Again, you can see from the body there, it's very nicely prepared in the Abarth colours, white and red. This has a lot of modifications to the engine and the gearbox. The engine is a 1100cc engine from the Autobianchi A112. Also, with the engine and the power situation here, we have a Simca Abarth a 4-speed close ratio gearbox as well. It's got fully lowered suspension, disc brakes all round, front radiator, and then we come to the interior, which has the proper Abarth dashboard in it, full roll cage again for safety. This car is producing in the region of 120 brake horsepower.
Wow.
Compared to the standard car, which would have been producing in 30, maybe 32 brake horsepower.
Okay.
So
and there's your name on
and
the
then
side.
this is
So it must have been a lot of fun racing that, Andy.
we've had some very interesting races in Mondello with it, and a very, very different type of car.
Okay. And something more modern now.
Moving on here, we have, and this is the only one registered in the south of Ireland. It's not on sale here. I had to buy it in Northern Ireland. Is a 124 Spider Abarth. And this has been a remake from the original car back from the 70s. It's actually based on the Mazda MX-5 floor pan with Abarth running gear, engine, gearbox, suspension, brakes, the lot. It's got a 1.4 Fiat engine in it with tuned by Abarth and a turbo. And this car produces 170 brake horsepower.
Yes, so a good bit of power from that, Andy.
And it's very nice. The turbo comes in very nicely and evenly, smoothly. I've just purchased this car last year, and you can see from the number, it's 172D1245, which is looking like an S there for a
very clever.
I had to pay the revenue commissioners a few pounds for that number plate.
Yeah,
but anyway, it adds to the car.
And here, Andy.
Yeah. Moving on, this would be the. I kind of have to say my favourite. I have this car about 15 or 16 years, and this is one of 400 produced by Fiat, where they built 400 to homologate them, to rally them. And it's a 131 Mirafiori Abarth Rally. It sports a 2-litre twin cam engine, 16 valve cylinder head, all the usual mod cons on it, including downdraft Dell'Orto carburetors, 5-speed Calotti gearbox, disc brakes all round. Very, very rare car in its day. It's producing around 170 brake horsepower.
Andy, I'm just looking at the tax there. €56.
Yeah.
Nice classic tax.
Classic tax it's nice to have that indeed, yes.
Exactly.
Once they're 30 years old, the tax is €56. So helps bring them along, and then special classic insurance on them.
Yes. But it does look fantastic in that colour now.
Yeah, and this was produced only in 3 colours, in this orange, blue and yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can we have a look inside, Andy?
Yeah.
Please?
She runs on 7 by 15 inch Chromadora alloy wheels. Inside again, she has full roll cage, harness seat belts, bucket seats to keep one safe in there.
Yeah.
These cars won the World Rally Championship in as it says here in the back, 1977, 1978 and 1980, in the hands of famous people like Walter Roll, Michel Mouton. All these famous rally people rally these cars. The car is fiberglass panels on it, except for the roof and the floor pan, and aluminium skin doors, which makes it very unusual.
Yeah.
Okay, we're just finishing with the 131 Abarth Rally here, and moving on to its little sister over here is the 131 Racing Group 2 rally car. Different specification. This body shell is all metal and manufactured wheel arches. Again, we come to the engine here, and the difference between it and the other car is this is only an 8-valve engine, but has been highly modified to produce up to 170 brake horsepower. Wow. It runs on twin Weber 48 carburetors. A lot of work to the engine, both top and bottom end. 5-speed gearbox again, disc brakes all round, and it's done in this very nice VS Fiat Olio colours.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
Again,
in the colours.
Rallied quite considerably in Italy.
Excellent.
Moving on, we're coming back to the inside again, which again is very similar to the other car, with a full roll cage, bucket seats, full harness seat belts, all to keep the driver safe.
And what sort of brake horsepower?
This car is producing 170 brake horsepower.
Oh, yeah,
very
good.
torquey engine in it as well.
And does the steering wheel pop off?
No,
Sticks.
the steering wheel is fixed.
Oh yeah. Excellent. Yeah, I love that one. It just looks cool with all the colours on.
It's quite striking in the paint colours that's in it, you know.
So Andy, you have one more car to tell us about.
I have one more Fiat here with me, which is a very, very special and rare car. It's a car that was built in Dublin by the Hendersons, who were the Fiat assemblers at that time in 1963. This car was given to me by the son of its original and only owner from the road where I was born and reared. The car was in service from 1963 till 1976, as can be seen from the tax disc on the windscreen, when it got into some disrepair and was put into their garage in the back garden. It lay there from October 76 till almost October 2006, so 30 years lying in the garage. The car was not in very, very poor condition really overall, but did have considerable work done to it. A lot of the body panels are still original, the doors, the bonnet, the boot. There's 2 new front wings put on it. The interior, as can be seen here now, is actually the original interior with no work other than cleaning done to the car.
Wow.
The engine was actually seized and we rebuilt the engine. Gearbox was fine, we rebuilt the brakes on it, but the car absolutely runs superbly today. When the car was finished in 2010, it took me 4 years to do it. I went and collected the man who gave it to me, whose mother owned the car from new. So I'm actually the second owner on the car since 1963.
Wow, that's fantastic, Andy. So that's great. Thank you very much for showing me around the collection.
Okay, pleasure. And this is a very special car to me, as I said, because of its history.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So check this out, guys. We are on the ClassicCarreras.com stand here at the show. And look at this, we have a 1960 356 undergoing restoration work. So an awful lot of work still to be done on this car. But I just want to show you this one here. It's a 1978 Porsche Targa, the 911 Targa. So this is the work that has gone into this car so far. So of course it was originally black, but you can see all the rust there, and then dipped here after bare metal, and it just gives you an idea of the amount of work that goes into this car. So they're already 9 months working on this 911, and still an awful lot more to do. But I'm just going to show you as well this door over here. It just gives you an idea of how many coats go into finishing these cars. So you've got your bare metal here, and then 7 coats before the final finish at the end. So yeah, so much work involved in restoring these cars. We have a 1983 280 SL Mercedes, the R107, and the interior in excellent condition here from Prestige Classic Cars, and the automatic gearbox. And moving over here, we have a 1983 635 CSI in white with the black stripe down the side.
60.
Let's have a look at the interior. The blue leather seats, nice and thick as well. And we have the mobile phone, a throwback to the 80s. Yeah, that is your 635 BMW. And then we have this 1937 Mercedes, the 230 Saloon, the W143. So that is for sale. If you're interested, contact Prestige Classics. And another 220 Mercedes here from 1963. And over here we have a 1960 220 SE convertible. Just check out the interior. It's just immaculate. The wood on the dash. Yeah. And over here, let's check out the Jaguar E-Type from 1964. Let's have a look at the interior. It's just like brand new. It's just, what a fantastic piece of work on this 1964 E-Type. The Series 1 Roadster. Yeah, I really like that. So yeah, if you're interested in the car for sale, contact Prestige Classics Cars. Okay, we came back for our slice of cake. Okay.
Cake from Irish Vintage Scene.
Thanks. So we have a few rare panhards here at the show. We've got this one from 1961, the Saloon, and this from 1967, the panhards. Very unusual styling. And we have the convertible panhard here. So registered in 63, but actually built in 1961. And the engine is only 848 cc. So you would probably get no more than 90 miles per hour out of this small little engine in the panhard. But an awful lot of work gone into this particular example here. As you can see from the photos, it had an awful lot of rust on it. But it's great to see it here at the show today. 1961 / registered in 63 panhard convertible. So many unusual cars at this show, but do you remember this? The 1970s Clan Crusader. So all fiberglass body on this, very unusual car. We saw it in Portlaoise not so long ago with the engine in the rear. Yeah, your Clan Crusader there. And if I swing around here, we have a Mercedes Actros truck. So 450 horsepower from your Mercedes Actros from the RSA. So I'm just going to hop inside this truck just to see what it is that's inside it. Well, you can learn how to ride a motorbike on that. And over here, something to do with cars over there. So that's what's inside in this truck. If you're interested in learning how to drive or ride a motorbike, we have an Audi A4 there. I have no idea what that does on the stand. But yeah, it's not a massive show, as you can see, but the quality of cars is very good. I'd be happy with the quality of cars on display this year. But that Audi A4, what that's doing, I have no idea. Paddy Connolly is here with a bunch of 4x4s, so he's a 4x4 specialist. This G-Class Mercedes is sold. So a 2018 G-Class Mercedes, and that is the price. €154,000 for your G-Class Mercedes. Maserati Bora. So there's two of them here this year. So as you can see going around the show, there is a huge Italian theme going out this year. And this is a 1976 Maserati Bora. So nice styling on them. And another Fiat 500 with this small little Lambretta scooter. Yeah, you see all sorts at this show. And I have no idea what this is. What sort of car is this? This is a Flaminia, Lancia Flaminia, 1964. So yeah, nice design on that. And another W126 Mercedes.
Hi, Stavros.
Thanks.
So we're on the Motorsport Ireland stand, so we're trying to showcase as many different disciplines as we can. And as a governing body, one of our most popular disciplines in terms of spectators and of course license holders is rallying. So we have a rally car on the stand. It's a Ford Fiesta. It's an S2000, Super 2000 car. So I'm going to take you through some of the features of that car, and I understand we were looking at Keith Lyons' car last week, so while on the face of it this car may look very similar, there's a lot of subtle differences, and a lot of them are under the skin, so you can come along over here and we'll take you through it. So I suppose one of the most immediate differences is that the front of this car is a little bit different to Keith Lyons' in that it's the older model Fiesta. So this car is about 8 years old. It would have been built around 2009, 2010, so it has the older shaped front, whereas Keith's one has the newer front. And underneath, this car is essentially the same shell as a Ford Fiesta World Rally car. R5 cars like Keith's one are built to slightly different specifications. They have to include a certain amount of standard components. So actually Keith's car and this car has about 80% difference in them, even though they look the same.
That's a lot,
yeah, a lot of them is underneath. A lot of them is in the suspension and in the roll cage, and in particular in the engine. So this car is a Super 2000, so that means 2000. It's 2000 cc.
Yeah.
So it's a 2 litre normally aspirated engine. Keith's one would have been a 1.6 turbo.
So I see the tyres there.
Yes, the car is currently running this car because it's competing in the Valvoline Irish Forest Rally Championship, but you can see the sticker up there on the top.
Oh yeah.
The car is currently lying third in the championship after the first round in Carrick-on-Shore, and it'll be out in competition in Limerick in 2 weeks' time. But in order to run the car on gravel, it needs to run different suspension, so it runs much higher. But inside, it's largely the same as what you would have seen in Keith's car. We have carbon fibre inserts on the door here that keeps all the weight down. This X here means that it can fit in around the roll cage, and the roll cage is one of the key components of any rally car. They start off with a bare Ford Fiesta shell. This car is built by M Sport in the UK, in Cumbria, and the roll cage is fitted. It's fabricated and fitted. It's basically it's the opposite of an exoskeleton. It's a skeleton inside the car. Keeps the car strong and rigid, keeps the occupant safe. Then once you have everything taken out of the car, like with all rally cars, you need to try and distribute the weight as best as possible. So everything is moved back as far as it can. The pedals are moved back, the steering column is moved back, the seats are moved back as far as they can. And in fact, if you even look at the seats, the co-driver seat is down lower than the driver's seat. That's to keep the weight as low down as possible, to keep the centre of gravity as low as possible. In fact, in many of these cars, the navigator in the passenger seat can't even see the road in front of them. They will call the pace notes, and they'll feel the road through their behind in the seat. All the switch gear is in between the seats. They have a 6-speed sequential gearbox with flat shift, so you only have to use the clutch to get off the line, and then you're away and you can continue pulling the gears with a semi-automatic gearbox. You have at the front, then you can see the suspension travel. The car in gravel trim runs 15-inch wheels with the gravel tyres, and obviously the suspension travel, when you lift the front up, the wheel drops down another 20 centimetres. On tarmac, you would, as I was mentioning earlier, on tarmac you would change the springs and the dampers. You'd also change the wishbones. You would run on tarmac. You run an 18-inch wheel, and you'd fit 15-inch brakes. So on tarmac, that car would run bigger brakes because it will have to stop faster. There's more grip on tarmac. On the gravel, you can afford to run smaller brakes, slightly smaller wheels, and that means you get the chunkier tyres that bite down and get the grip. So.
Can we take a look at the engine bay?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, no problem.
And what sort of brake horsepower, Art?
You'll be looking at about 280 brake horsepower from a normally aspirated 2-litre engine, and as you can see, everything has been tilted and pushed back as far as it can go to keep all the weight back. You can see also there the little beams where the roll cage is coming out into the turret at the front of the car to keep it all structured and safe. And like any car that competes in a Motorsport Ireland event, it has to meet scrutiny requirements and safety requirements. So a modern car such as this, an S2000 or an R5, is one of the safest rally cars out there. And this car is ready to go, ready to compete, and we're delighted to have it on the stand this weekend.
Art, thank you very much.
No problem.
So I'm joined now by Adam Macaulay, and he's going to talk to us all about this Formula Vee. So Adam, a kind of a cheap form of racing with this particular class.
Yeah, that's right. This is Ireland's entry-level single-seater racing. If you want to go single-seater racing, this is where you start. All the components are based on the Volkswagen Beetle car, so they're all readily available off the shelf, all very cheap. 1600cc Beetle, air-cooled Beetle engine. The rules are very, very strict, so spec cam, control tyres, one set of tyres lasts the whole season, spec carburetors, so it's available to the man in the street. You don't have to go and get, you know, big sponsorship or big backing or to be wealthy to go and do this. You know, you can run these on an average wage. Because the components are all road car based, there's only so much money you can spend. So if you put the effort in, you know, on a small budget, you can be competitive. Not only can you compete, you can be competitive and you can win. And it's the biggest single-seater class. We've got grids regularly of over 20 cars. It's action-packed racing, slipstreaming battles up and down. There's three different venues that we race at: Mondello, Kirkestown, and Bishop's Court. It's really, really, really close. There's less than a second between first and last sometimes on the grid. It's that competitive. And like I said, it's accessible to the everyman. The tyres are the same for everybody, engines are the same for everybody, chassis are all very similar. So it's just down to the driver to make the difference, really, rather than having money to spend on engines or performance parts. There's nothing you can do, really. Everybody's cars are the same performance, and it's down to the driver. So talent wins out at the end of the day.
Thanks a lot, Adam. Cheers. Whoa, there's something very loud starting up over there. But we'll move over here. We have a couple of American vehicles here. We have a 1972 Ford F100 pickup truck, and then this 1976 Ford Gran Torino. So a bit of an American theme going on in this hall. And we have a Ford Mustang over there as well, and a Chevrolet also. So if you're into American cars and you want to attend a show, why not check out this one? That's happening on the 22nd of April 2018, the Midland American Auto Club show. So check them out if you're interested in American cars. So we'll just have a quick look at the black Mustang and the Chevrolet, the Corvette here. So let's have a look at this car over here and see what all this noise is about, guys. There's loads of noise here. I don't think I'm gonna get a shot here because there's a bunch of people and it's, what is in there? There we are. Yeah, that is very loud, guys. Okay. Yeah. All right, I've no idea what that was. So I'm going to leave you from the show with this 1955 Mercedes Gullwing. Yeah, hugely expensive classic, that Mercedes. So yeah, it was a quite enjoyable show. I am now catching the bus at 4:45 and we are heading back home. So I do hope you enjoyed the video, guys, and I will chat to you all again next weekend for another video. So until then, take care and thanks for watching. Cheers! We're now back in Limerick. Guys, what did you think of the show? Quick!
Yeah, fantastic. It's always a good
great
one.
variety of stuff there. Yeah, great variety.
So,
For all.
we'll go again next year, guys. Yes!
Who yours, man?